which is Red Hat related. So first, let us talk about the file system. See, whenever we are talking about Linux, so it has a certain file structure or file system. How it works? The topmost is the root directory. So topmost is the root directory. So like in Windows, we are having C drive, D drive, right? So we are having drive system. So here, the concept is little bit different. Here, everything starts from the root. Under root, you are having, different directories like home directory. We are having bin directories. So these are the child directory of the root. So this is called the root directory. Okay, there is a root directory also. Right? So whenever you are, for example, at this moment, I am in the, if I run the pwd present working directory, so I'm currently, see, root, under root, there is a home directory, under home, there is a Raman directory. So it is like that, right? So it does not matter where you are, the topmost directory will be the root directory. Okay. Now there are some directories which are predefined, okay, or which are having some special meaning. So those directories are number one, root directory, as I mentioned. It is the topmost directory in the file system hierarchy. All the directories are the subdirectories of this content. It essential file system directories and all like home, bin, and we will discuss about all this. Now, next is the bin directory. So what is bin directory? See, let me show you one example. Consider I'm creating one shell script file. Shell script is basically a script file in Linux. So, for example, if I say sudo and nano, and I will create a shell script, say test.sh file. Okay. So I need to log in with the Raman user, and here I'm just writing a date command. And let me save this. Now, when I save this, now I want to execute it. So I need to give some execute permissions. So at this moment, what I'm doing, I'm just giving chmod and I'm giving full permission to everyone. Okay. This is not a best practice, but for this example, I'm doing. So I'm giving the permission to test.sh. Now, if I'm in the same directory where the test.sh file is available, means in my home and Raman directory, and if I say dot slash and test.sh, so see, I'm able to execute it. Now, let me go to some other directory. If I say there are many directory, let me go to the test1 directory. So if I say cd test1, if I go there, now if I execute the same command, it will not execute it because test.sh file is not available under the, if I see the pwd, it is not available under test1 directory. It is available under Raman's directory. That is why test.sh is not executed here. But I want it. It should not matter that whether I'm in test1 directory, whether I'm in some other directory, I should execute test.sh file. In that case, what is the best way? Push this file into the bin directory. Now let us go. If I say cd and if I say cd, and if you want to, switch to a particular directory, you need to give the absolute path. There is a relative path concept is also there. But for example, here I have mentioned this bin directory is under root. So I will say cd/bin. So I'm in the bin directory. Now, if I see ls, there are so many, executable files are there. So what I want to do, I want to move or copy, right? So I'm moving under root, home, Raman, and there is a test.sh file. I want to move from this directory to current directory. So here no need to mention this is relative path. Okay. This is relative path because I'm in the bin directory. So I'm saying that this particular file is to be moved from this directory. This is my source directory and this is my destination. Destination means under root bin directory, right? So now if I press enter, okay, permission denied. So I need to use sudo. Okay, so it is moved. Now if I say ls and ls minus l test.sh, so you can see test.sh file is now where it is in the bin directory. Okay, now if I see the permissions, the execute permission is for everyone. Okay, execute permission is for everyone. Now what I will do, I will go back to my previous directory. One way is that you can give slash home Raman. There is, I'm using hyphen. So hyphen means, for example, I'm switching from Raman's directory to bin directory. Now I want to go back to the previous directory, means bin directory to Raman's directory. So I can use cd hyphen. Now tell me what will happen if I say cd hyphen again, where it will switch, which directory?
Home.
Bin.
Home.
Bin. Because from bin to Raman, Raman to bin. So cd hyphen means A to B, B to A to B, B to A.
Okay.
So it is basically now, see
Okay.
again,
Okay.
I'm in the bin directory. If I say cd hyphen again, because now I'm in the home
Hmm.
directory. Do you
Raman.
understand this?
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Now, yes. Now, see, I'm in the Raman's directory, but I don't have test.sh file. See, there is no test.sh file. But I want to execute test.sh file. See, execute it. Now let me go to some other folder, say test1 folder if I go. And if I run here test.sh file, so see it is executed. How it is executed? Because that file I moved it into my bin directory. So bin is a special type of directory where, you know, we put all the executable files. Now it is very useful. This bin directory is a predefined. Now, if I go to this directory, if I say cd hyphen, right? Uh, so now, oh, sorry, I moved to test one, right? Now tell me why it did not go to bin directory?
So we're in the test one.
Because we run the command cd test once. So I changed that Raman to test one. Now test one to Raman, if I go, now that context is changed. Now I want to go to bin directory, or I no need to go to the bin directory. We can simply say ls minus l and slash bin directory. I want to see what is inside that. So you can see this bin directory is a, so this is a soft link. Okay, we will talk about what is soft link, which is started with L. Okay, now it is saying user slash bin something, but let me go directly in that case. If I say cd slash bin, okay, and if I say ls, so you can see all the commands. Okay, which commands? The commands like ls command. Okay, let us see whether ls command is here. lmno ls command should be there. See, ls command is there. So it means ls is a file. ls is an executable file. You understood? Like test.sh file I have created. Same way someone has coded, means in the Linux it is coded something ls executable file. So whenever I am running ls command, it is going to bin directory and checking, oh, ls is defined. So I need to execute the ls command. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Manisha, are you there? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you're talking, I'm not able to hear you. You're on mute. All right. So were you able to, are you able to see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
So ls command, do you understand what I have mentioned? So
Before that, no.
ls command is in the bin directory. That's why whenever we are running ls command, see in the Linux, everything is a file. Everything is a file. Whether it is, mkdir command, whether it is ls command, whether this command, those command, everything is a executable file. Okay. So that is why whenever I run ls command, so that ls command is under my bin directory. Okay. So I'm in the bin directory. If I show you, I'm in the bin directory. And if I say ls and minus l ls, okay, I want to see ls command. See, there is a ls file and see, it is having the executable permission. Do you understand this?
Okay.
Now let us check some more. Let us see pwd is there. Yes, pwd is also there. See, it is this is a file. Pwd is a command, but command is internally it is defined as a file, and that file is executable file. We have not created that. We have created test.sh file. Do you understand the significance of bin directory?
Yes.
Okay. So at the end of this session, I will give you some questions. You need to do that. Okay. So next is the
Okay.
boot directory. So boot directory is basically what? See, whenever you start your virtual machine or Linux machine, what will happen? It needs a boot order. It needs that your system is to be booted. So for that, uh, Linux kernel, Linux bootloader files, which we don't touch most of the time, right? So those files are basically used for starting your virtual machine or starting your operating system. When your operating system is started, so it needs a boot order, boot files to be loaded. So those are boot files. So let us check that. Now, if I go here, now if I say cd hyphen, right? If I say ls and boot directory. So you can see there is a loader file, system files, right? VM Linux files. So all those files, there are some image, dump image. Dump image is nothing but, whenever you are, say an example, you are hibernating or you are powering off your system by saving the state. So dump is basically that kind of uh, it preserve your state information. Okay, that is the image. So this is the boot order. Now let us talk about the dev file. See, uh, what happens that whenever you are having any devices, if I go to Windows, and here I will see the devices, device manager, right? So if you go to the device manager, so here you will see all the hardware devices drivers, right, which is installed. For example, if I talk about my sound system, so in the sound system, these are the sound drivers which are basically installed on my system. If I want to remove something, I will just right click and I will say, update driver, disable driver, uninstall driver, right? So all the device related information is in the device manager. But as I mentioned, in Linux, everything is file. So whatever you are having devices like hard disk, like your software interfaces, hardware devices, everything is in the form of the file under dev directory. So again, it is under the root. So if I say ls and root dev directory, so you will find all the these like you can see port, you can see sta. This is basically the hard disk it is showing. So you see dev sta first hard drive, tty1, which is the first terminal, dev null, which is a data sync null directory. Okay. So you can see everything is defined here under this dev directory. So dev is the one which is storing the device information. Now, next is the etc file. You have any question?
None.
Okay. etc is the configuration file. So configuration file is basically, see, whenever you are having some configuration file which is system wide, or the shell scripts related to configure the system's behavior for all the users, then we are using this etc. Now, if you remember, um, I have I have shown you one file which is /etc password file, right? Now, password file is storing the usernames, right? So, right, sorry, instead of ls, I'll say cat. Right? So this is a system configuration file where we are having the users like DevOps user I have created, Apache user I have created, Raman user I have created. So many users I have created. All that informations are here. Same with group file, right? So it means the purpose is to store the system-wide configuration file. See, now, for example, I have a user Raman and Monishika. So Monishika user, when she connects to this particular system remotely, then what will happen? That username and password information, username information is available under this particular directory, okay, which is etc under password file. Group information, right? So it is saying etc user information. There is a file system table, which is fs tab, host name. So if you see here, tell me what is my host name of this system without running any command. What is the host name of this system,
Host name of
of this system?
RH here.
Very good. So whatever is written after @, this is the host name, or you can run the host name ctl command. It will tell the static host name. I think host name command also you can check. Okay. So this one also gives you the host name, right? So now, so this is the host name information. You can see this information in a file also. As I mentioned, in Linux, everything is file. So if I say ls root and etc, and if I go to the host name file, so here you can see ls. Now, if I say cat, okay, so you can see this host name is stored here. It is displaying when I run the hostname ctl command, right? But or hostname command. So it is giving the, but it is reading. If I remove it from this file, it won't be visible here. Understood? So setting up the hostname is a configuration. Pass Setting up the user is a configuration. Setting up the group is a configuration. Setting up a system table is a configuration. So all the configuration files will be under etc directory. Do you get it now? What it is?
Yes.
Right. Now next is the home directory. So home directory is the user's directory. For example, if I create a user, if I say sudo user add testing user. Okay. So testing user is it's there, right? Already existing. So it is saying this user does not exist, but directory was existing. Now, if I say ls, so currently I'm in a, if I say ls/home. So here you can see there is a testing directory, right? So this directory get created because I created this user. Now let me remove this directory or remove this user. If I say sudo and user del -r testing, so it will remove the directory, which is the home. So whenever a user get created, every user is having a home directory where its profile file is available. So now if I say ls home, see, oh, it's not deleted. Okay, it is not owned by testing. Okay, okay. It is created by myself. So what I will do, I will remove this by myself, rm -r or fr. testing directory. Okay. So now if I say ls testing ls/home, so you can see still not deleted. Let me run. So, oh, sorry, I did not give the path. So it is /home/testing. Okay, permission denied. So I will say sudo.
Sudo.
Right now, this directory is deleted. Now I will create that user, add, and testing user. Right. So I will say sudo.
Sudo.
Right? So user is. So there is one more file which is mailbox
Sudo.
file. It is already existing. That is absolutely fine. We will see during the user management how it works. Okay. So now at this moment, this user is created, but our main interest is under home directory. So now you can see there is a testing directory get created for that user with the same name as the user. Now, if I say ls minus la, if I want to read the hidden files under home and testing directory, okay, so we need to use sudo. Right. So here you can see there are some files. This is my profile file. Okay. What is profile file? How to use it? That we will see in the user management. But you can see whenever a user get created, a directory get created with that username under home directory. So now let us understand home directory. It contains the personal directories for regular users. Each user has own subdirectory under home where the personal file, configuration file documents are stored. Right? I hope you understand this directory.
Yes.
Right. Now, next is, for example, you want to share certain files with the uh, with others. Then you can use the lib directory. For example, lib directory contains the shared libraries that are required by the binary bin or system bin to run. Like, for example, uh, bin directory, I have mentioned that you put your executable files there. Now, when that executable file is executed, now say an example, this file needs certain libraries to support. Like in Java, when you create a program, you add some external, jar files. So similar way, whenever you are running any application, right? So in that case, you want that your application is to be not only executable file, but it needs some supported files. So lib directory is for that. So if I say ls/lib, so you can see there are many files. One of them is say OS release file, Python file, right? So these are not the executable file. These are the supporting files. So if I say ls/lib, or I'll say cat/lib/os release, right? So you see, this is the information about the this is the information about my operating system release, right? So in this case, basically what is happening that this file is required whenever we are running hostname ctl command, hostname command. Okay, so this is a supporting library. Okay, so OS related Python libraries. Do you understand? Home,
Home and yes.
lib is the where the shared libraries. Okay, just walk through this after this lecture. I will put this lecture on the YouTube also. I will share the link, so you just walk through this. Okay. Now next is the media, which is the removable media. Like in Windows, we just connect our CD-ROM or DVD or USB drives. Then we can directly see it. But here it is a special type of directory, which is called the media directory, where you can put, you will see your CD-ROM, USB, these kind of devices. So it's a we call it mount point. So temporary mount point for removable devices like CD, DVD, USB devices, etc. Let us see whether we have that. So if I say ls/media, so it is there. If I say ls minus ld, right? So this directory is there. So this is a directory. At this moment, I have not attached any CD-ROM or USB, etc. So that is why it is blank. MNT. MNT is similar to media, but it is, it's a same way as the media works, but it is mostly used to mount the file system. For example, you attach a hard disk, and that hard disk you want to mount to a particular directory. Then you can use this MNT. Okay. So, so this is often used for manual mounts of devices or partitions. So if I say ls minus ld and slash mnt, okay, so this directory also exists. So we will see this practically when we attach some USB drive. Okay, so at that time I will show you how it works. But currently you can understand in such a way that whenever we mount a directory which is mapped to a particular disk, then we use MNT. Okay. Now OPT is the optional software. You know, for example, there are some software which are third-party software or optional software. These are not part of the standard system distribution. Like for Google slash OPT Google, for LAMP web server package we are having. So these are the optional software. Now there is a PROC. PROC means process information. All your process information, that how many processes are running. Okay, so these are that information, you can see it under PROC. Okay, so this is basically giving you the runtime information of your processes. Okay? If something is running on your system, but we use the commands, but in the background, this file is this particular directory is the one where all that information gets stored, like CPU information. So if I say ls slash proc slash CPU info, so if I say cat, right, so it will give you the CPU information. Like in my case, I'm using AMD Ryzen 5. So this is my CPU model. Okay. And it will tell you how many processor it is having. One processor. CPU family this, right? And CPU cores, I have two cores. Okay. Two cores means, so that information. Same way you can see the information about memory, status, etc. Root is a system admin's directory. And slash run. Slash run is basically, it's a temporary file system that stores the information about system runtime status, like how many means PID, process ID files, system information that is required before where directory is available. So if I say ls and slash run, right? So all that information which is related to the runtime file system. So that information is here. Again, we will discuss once we talk about the user management part, like their log files, their run user, that information. Sbin is a system bin directory, right? So if I say ls slash sbin, right? So here also you will see all the system related files and directory. Now here if you see, so there is a bin directory and there is a sbin directory. There are two types of directories. One is bin and one is sbin. So if I say ls slash bin ls, okay. So ls, see ls command is not here, right? So it is the essential system binary for the system administration task. So only root users can see, like if config, reboot, shutdown, file system check, etc. So these files, service data, service means those are running as a service. System information, a virtual file system information. Okay, these are important, but not that much important for the beginners. Maybe once we start the system admin part, at that time we will discuss. TMP is the temporary files. If you want to put some, files which are temporary under temporary. User related files like user bin directory, user share directory. So whatever we have discussed, if it is related to the user, USR directory. And where is a variable data like your log files, your cache information. Okay. So just walk through this page, okay, and try to run these commands. And in next lecture, we will discuss about these commands. I believe these commands you can just try by yourself. Second, third, fourth, fifth, okay, till fifth command, you can try by
Okay.
yourself. If you face any issue and finish it by today, okay, that will be your task. And we will meet tomorrow. All right, any question?
No.
Thank you. Bye bye.